The wine glass hit the ground with a soft clink, shattering into jagged fragments across the hardwood floor. Scarlet droplets trailed beside it. Wine, not blood, but the lines between the two felt blurred. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez sat motionless on the leather couch. Her eyeliner had long since streaked down her cheeks, drying in crooked lines. She didn't blink, didn't move. Her phone, still lit in her trembling hand, buzzed over and over again. Texts, headlines, calls. The television flickered in front of her, painting the room in cold flashes of blue and white. On the screen, Elon Musk stood confidently at a podium, flanked by Caroline Levitt. Levitt's lips curled into a polished smirk. "Today, we're making the truth public," she declared. "These files expose a pattern of manipulation, media coercion, and unethical influence embedded deep within our leadership." Elon chimed in with mechanical calm. "We're not targeting anyone. We're just done protecting those who hide behind good intentions while exploiting the system." And then came the headline. Breaking. Whistleblower leak. Ties progressive. Senator to elicit power play. AOC's chest rose sharply. The air in the room had changed, thicker, heavier. She whispered under her breath, "No, not like this." Her phone slipped from her hand, crashing to the floor, screen cracking on impact. A narrator's voice echoed softly in the air, as if watching her from above. "In the city of power, truth is the one thing no one can afford, and when the walls, close in, even the loudest voices, can go silent." Her eyes still fixed on the broken screen, AOC exhaled, shallow, broken, the kind that came after holding everything in too long. The news alert wasn't just a headline, it was a gunshot, in the dark. 2 weeks earlier, she had stood before a roaring crowd in the Bronx, fists raised, voice steady, preaching power to the people. But beneath the chants and smiles, Alexandria was crumbling. Every night ended the same: unanswered calls, empty rooms, and those hidden chats. Texts she swore she'd never send again, late-night voice notes drenched in regret. They came from him, the one she once trusted beyond reason, the one who vanished when the stakes got too high, the one who was now back as the whistleblower. "I kept your secrets for years," he had whispered in the last message. "But silence has a price, and I'm done paying for your sins." She never replied. Maybe she should have. In the distance, across a sleek conference room thousands of miles away, Caroline Levitt sipped espresso with the calm precision of someone who knew she was winning. Her fingers slid across the tablet, each swipe peeling back layers of a public servant's life. "She talks big about justice," Caroline mused, not bothering to hide her grin. But behind closed doors, she played God. Elon didn't laugh. He rarely did. Sitting at the head of the table, he watched the file decrypt on screen. Chat logs, surveillance footage, encrypted voice notes. "You're sure it's all clean?" he asked. "Clean enough to burn her without catching fire ourselves," Caroline replied. He nodded. This wasn't about politics for him. It never was. It was about exposure. Truth. Or maybe just leverage. Meanwhile, back in D.C., AOC's chief of staff, Daniel, hovered just outside her office, earpiece buzzing. "They're digging fast," he warned her softly when she finally let him in. "How? Bad?" "You should prepare for the worst. Someone leaked more than we thought. They've got your voice, Alex." Her lips parted, not in shock but in realization. She had trusted the wrong person. Again, and worse. She'd fallen for him once, a journalist, a confidant, a voice in the dark who made her feel understood in a world that only wanted to use her. They had shared more than secrets. And now he was the one holding the knife. Her voice broke, low and hollow. "They're going to destroy me, Daniel." He looked at her, unsure if he was staring at a leader. or a woman already broken. The next morning, her phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Dozens of missed calls, hundreds of unread texts. But the damage wasn't coming from the outside. It was the leaks. Screenshots splashed across timelines, hashtags trending faster than wildfire. Private messages, raw, emotional, sometimes desperate, exposed for the world to dissect. Paragraphs where she cursed rival senators, hinted at sabotaging legislation, and confessed her disdain for the people she publicly embraced. One thread stung more than the rest. They think I care about bipartisanship? I'll burn this system before I let them win. She had typed that in anger. After another betrayal. After another empty vote. Now it was on every morning show. Daniel stood by the door, his face pale. He didn't say a word. She paced the length of her apartment barefoot, wrapped in a hoodie, eyes bloodshot. It was private, she muttered, more to herself. They weren't supposed to see that side of me. Daniel shifted uncomfortably. You should prepare a statement. To say what? That I'm human? That I cracked under pressure? She glanced at him and saw it. The hesitation, the guilt, the silence that wasn't just silence. What aren't you telling me? She asked sharply. Daniel's lips tightened. Don't lie to me, Daniel. He looked away. They offered me a job, he finally confessed. Months ago. One of Musk's startups. They just wanted context, background. I didn't think... Her breath caught in her throat. The world swayed for a second. You were feeding them? She whispered. Daniel didn't answer. He didn't need to. She turned away, blinking fast, but the tears still came. The betrayal wasn't just political. It was personal. Every late night, planning session, every heart-to-heart, every shared secret, twisted now into evidence against her. Flashbacks collided, him leaning across the desk, brushing her hand as they laughed over polling numbers. That moment on the Capitol balcony, wine in hand, confessions pouring out like rain. And she remembered what she almost said that night. She had almost told him she loved him. Instead, she got a knife in the back. Caroline stood before a podium, smiling like a predator in pearls. It's time we ask if she's mentally stable enough to lead, she told the cameras, her tone soft but cutting. We cannot confuse passion with paranoia. Headlines followed instantly. AOC's mental. Fitness under scrutiny. Pundits dissected every speech, every misstep, every visible crack. AOC's panic attacks grew worse, once in private, then behind a bathroom stall, eventually mid-interview. She snapped at reporters, lashed out at staff. Trust vanished. Her inner circle, once tight as steel, scattered like dust. She'd walk the halls of Congress and feel it. The eyes, the murmurs, the absence of allies. She wasn't just losing power. She was unraveling, and Levitt wasn't done. Not yet. The final leak, the one that would scorch the earth, was still sitting in a private drive. Password protected, time-stamped, waiting for the exact moment it would hurt the most. The broadcast began at noon sharp. Every network, every platform, every eye. Levitt stood at the center, polished and poised. Musk flanked her right, casual yet unreadable. They didn't need dramatics. Their evidence would speak louder than any monologue. Behind them, a screen flickered to life. First, it was screenshots, internal emails, policy drafts marked up in AOC's handwriting. The language was personal, vindictive. Delay their proposal. Make it bleed politically. If they won't back my clean energy bill, I'll make sure their donors burn. Then came the audio. Her voice, unfiltered, furious, whispered calls with unnamed media insiders, promises, threats, pleas. One clip sent a collective chill through the room. They don't understand the pressure I'm under. Sometimes I don't even know who I am anymore. The footage ended. Levitt turned to the cameras. We are not here to gloat, she said, her tone icy yet deliberate. We are here to expose abuse of influence, emotional coercion, and a betrayal of the public trust. Then she stepped aside. No Q&A, no denials, just destruction. 3 hours later, AOC found her, not at the Capitol, not on the Hill, but in a sleek hotel suite overlooking D.C., the kind reserved for quiet power plays. The door closed behind her with a soft thud. Caroline didn't look surprised. She poured herself a drink and smiled. "Alexandria, you look tired." AOC's voice cracked before she could even speak. "Please, don't release the rest." Caroline raised an eyebrow. "You mean the private tapes? The ones where you begged that journalist to protect your lover's name?" AOC's face blanched. "There's no need for that. You've made your point. You've won." Caroline walked to the window, swirling her glass. "You once told me, power doesn't corrupt, it reveals." I took that to heart. She turned, eyes sharp. "You taught me how to play this game. I'm just better at it." AOC's knees buckled slightly. The humiliation stung worse than the betrayal. But beneath that, worse, was the knowing. The haunting realization that she had built this downfall brick by brick, word by word. That night, the world watched again. She stepped onto the stage, cameras everywhere. No teleprompter, no notes, just raw, naked emotion. "I have made mistakes," she began, her voice trembling. "I trusted the wrong people. I let my emotions drive decisions they shouldn't have. But I never stopped fighting for what I believed in." Then it cracked. The tears came. The rage, too. "You want to judge me? Fine. But judge the system that makes monsters of the people trying to survive it." She slammed her fist against the podium. "Judge the men who sit back and let their fortunes speak louder than their souls. Judge the women who smile as they twist the knife. But don't you dare call me weak." She broke. "Live in front of millions." The video shattered records. Some saw vulnerability. Others saw collapse. Supporters trended hashtags in solidarity. She deserved better, still with her. Critics called it a meltdown, a disgrace, the unraveling of a woman who couldn't handle the fire she helped ignite. And Caroline? She watched from her hotel suite, sipping wine, bathed in the glow of a screen that showed her face rising in approval polls. The empire had fallen, but the war wasn't over. The silence after the storm was almost cruel. 2 days passed, then 3. On the 4th morning, Alexandria appeared on screen one last time. No fanfare, no tears, just a simple backdrop, her voice steady, stripped of performance. "I gave everything. To this fight," she began, her tone hollow but resolute. "And somewhere along the way, I lost myself in it." Her resignation wasn't theatrical. It didn't need to be. The world had already witnessed her unravel. This was merely the final stitch tearing loose. Musk didn't comment. He didn't need to. Stocks in his companies surged. Deregulation passed quietly through committee. The battlefield had cleared, and he'd claimed the spoils. Caroline Levitt, once a political afterthought, now headlined conservative conferences. She graced magazine covers with headlines like "The Iron Smile" and "Brains, Blood, and Blonde Ambition." Reporters searched for the whistleblower who had triggered the leak. He was gone. Deleted socials. Empty apartment. A rumor surfaced. He'd been spotted in Monaco. Others whispered of offshore accounts. No one could prove anything. As the weeks passed, public opinion turned into murmurs, then forgetfulness. The cycle churned on. But in the quiet corners of New York, far from the echo of microphones, she walked alone. No entourage, no aides, just Alexandria. Hood pulled tight, eyes shadowed. She didn't wear power anymore. She wore loss, regret, a child. Once believed she could save the world. A woman now lived with the truth. The world doesn't want saving. It just wants a spectacle. The apartment was dim, lit only by the soft hum of a laptop screen. Notifications blinked quietly, mentions, news alerts, unanswered messages. One by one, she closed each tab. Then came the final window, her profile. She hovered over the delete button. Not hesitation, just mourning. With a slow exhale, she clicked. The screen faded to black. She whispered into the silence, not for anyone to hear but herself. I thought I could handle it. The voiceover settled in, slow and haunting. Power doesn't corrupt. It reveals. And sometimes, the people who scream the loudest are drowning in silence.